Greetings. My name is Amed Demirhan. I am librarian since 2001 in Florida. I started my library career. And since 2006, I have been involved establishing libraries or transforming libraries in Kurdistan Federal Region, in Nigeria, West Africa. And now, since late 2014, I have been working in two projects simultaneously. The one I have been working full-time is Barzani National Memorial, which I lead the establishment of the library in Barzani National Memorial since 2014. And since July 2019 to 2021, I have been involved to leading the transformation and digitization of Kurdish Heritage Institute in city of Suleymaniye, Kurdistan Federal Region of Iraq. So I am very proud and honored to participate in 8th Sharjah International Library Conference. And I hope by presenting to you today our experience and in successful experience in digitizing Kurdish Heritage Institute, you will benefit from this knowledge. So the Kurdish Heritage Institute in Suleymaniye, as we said, we work on it, and as far I know, is the first and only successful digitized institution in Kurdistan Federal Region and Iraq. The project was supported by United States government, State Department. They provided nearly $250,000 for this project. I'm very grateful we get the funding to do this successful job. However, whatever I am presenting here, I am presenting as Amed Demirhan and doesn't have anything to do with US government or State Department. But I want to thank them for their help and contribution. This is the Kurdish Heritage Institute building. And this building is reasonably very well designed and in central location next to a park. Is quite accessible from many different locations. So digitization process, of course, when we start digitization process, first thing what we need to do inventory, to see what they have. We look at their box, number of the box, type of the box, size of the box, how many different alphabet used, possibly different languages, and so on. Manuscripts, CDs, audios, videos, photographs, and so on. We had to take in consideration to decide what kind of scanner we need to buy for this material. So they had nearly 15,000 books and manuscripts and 400,000 records, mostly music and videos and audios, but mostly audio probably. The other element, the process of digitization, of course, we need to know the equipment, what kind of equipment we're going to use. The computers, scanners, software, hardware, hard drive, cables, cloud computing. What kind of cloud computing we're going to select for our storage. There are different levels, different costs involved. Computers the same way. But here's something very, very important we have to know. Once we choose what kind of scanner we want, we have to consult with the scanner provider or producers that what kind of computer is required that work with that scanner best. What kind of software those computers that we're going to buy will require. In this case, it's required to actually we partially build the computer we bought to make it workable with scanner. They can communicate. They have a similar software. They can talk to each other. So hard drive, of course, important to get storage for safety reasons. So just in case we face any virus or anything, so we have saved our material in hard drive. Other element, of course, the most important one, of course, staff. The staff going to work on this. So we needed to get stuff, we decided on a job description. We get a job description, what kind of stuff we want to work with this. Once we know what kind of equipment we have, what kind of software we have, what kind of technical skill we need, the type of stuff we're going to hire, and where to get stuff. And of course, most importantly, it has to be sustainable. Sustainability is very important. You don't want a project collapse once you finish, you go out there. Project has to survive. So therefore, we decide to hire staff from the institution within instead of getting somebody from outside. So the skill they acquire during this training, learning process will stay inside the institution. So the training, what kind of training we needed? Some of them we added voluntary to help them additionally. So the technical training, how to use the scanner, how to use the computers with new softwares, how to use information management system, to know about basic policy in institution, in international standards, so they can be computable internationally, to know about the copyright, national, international copyright issue, fair use of the copyright, copyrighted material, Creative Commons, how to apply and use Creative Commons within institution. We librarians, we are very sensitive and we care about intellectual property because we possess a lot of people's property. So we have really to safeguard their rights. So therefore, it's important we added this element extra for the staff training to know. I mentioned this staff that we hire, they are not librarians. Even so they work in a library, they don't have a library training. So basic customer service, metadata, what kind of metadata they need to generate from the material, cataloging, and administrative regulation to make sure across the institution, all the departments follow the same standard. Everybody doesn't have a different thing. So that's very important, and that's one thing that's absent in developing world. And here is our very first meeting. As you see, I am here discussing this, what I have already told you. Basically, I go through all of them with the founding director, distinguished, well-known Kurdish intellectual singer, Mr. Mazhar Khalqi, and his deputy, Ms. Nermin Hussein, and Chief of IT, Farhad Talib. We had to discuss and step by step go through all of this required element that we need and how we're going to implement, because our cooperation and mutual understanding is extremely important for success of the work. So our very first training, of course, was on scanner, semi-robotic scanner. Our trainer is based in New York, and we do a distance training. You don't see him here, but we all look in those screens. We're watching him and listening to our trainer. And here's the way we set up. It's very, very important to know the way it's set up. The workflow is important for efficiency of the work. So the person in the middle, is actually scanning the book, doing physical, actual scanning. Person on the right is processing scanned material with the appropriate software to put in the book format. And person on the left, the lady that holds a book on her hand, she's generating metadata from the book that has been scanned. Actually, if we had our information management system, we could directly make input those metadata into information management system, but we did not have a system yet. So we generated, so later on we could copy and paste the metadata into information management system. And here's an example of our metadata that generated from the book. and it is one of the traditional library metadata sheet, actually. Is very, very extensive, including the author's name, publication date, location, geographical location, language, translation, edition, and so on and so forth. And most librarians will be familiar with. This was much more extensive than what we actually needed for our information management system that later I will talk about. This is the scanned page of the book. That's the page, and you see it's showing here on the side. And this is the book, already scanned. And this, when we had a training we had a training on the scanner. So the software, actually, we give them some parameter to systematically organize, to give them for a particular identification number for each book, in addition to other element of the metadata that will be incorporated in it. So after finishing our first phase of the project, we started second phase with information management system, cataloging, Dewey Decimal Classification System. We use Dewey Decimal Classification System because in Kurdistan Federal Region and whole Iraq, they use only Dewey Decimal System, and it's much more practical and applicable to small institutions. And here's training in our very first training on information management system, November 4, 2020. And we're actually watching the screen and we're watching through our computer as well. Our trainer is in New York again, two of them. And here's our second day. I took the screenshot for you for the training. So I am watching and taking photo at the same time. And the gentleman you see in the lower end alone is my project co-director, Mr. Peter Henrik. He's a well-trained, well-known journalist and working with Antiquity Coalition and Cultural Heritage for many years. So our second part of the training in second phase was cataloging, training for the cataloging, basic cataloging understanding. The lady here, Miss Leslie Gash, is my former colleague and trained cataloger. She's British, and generously she accepted to come do 10 days training for our staff for basic and learn. In this training, we use information management system. We do actually hand-on training while they learn different aspects of cataloging concept and so on. I am there sitting next to her because so many concepts we don't have in Kurdish. There's no handbooks and guideline for Kurdish cataloging system. So even so, we have exactly the same vocabulary, but didn't have the same meaning. So I had to constantly to explain and try to make them understand new application of the same word in the cataloging and how we do. So it was very learning experience for me as well. So, and this is another one is the training. You can see we have many more people that get training. The reason we have more people, we allowed anybody in institution that desire, need to learn about cataloging and how to use information management system to participate. So in addition to our 4 hired staff, the 4 other staff from other departments come and participate, and we were happy to contribute extra to institutional development. The more people have a skill, the better for everybody, we think. And this is another thing you can see Leslie actually discussing with them, and you can see the motivation and enthusiasm of them, the student or participant in this cataloging and information management system training. So in the end of the training, we give them a certificate of participation, and U.S. Consul General, His Excellency Rob Waller, also participate together with me and founding director with Mr. Mazar Khalik to deliver the certificate of participation to them. So here we are. We have an online digitized library. Now, this is the Kurdish version of the online digitized library. And soon, I've been told the website will change, but regardless if change, we still can find the website by institution name. And this is the English version of the Kurdish Heritage Institute website. And when I show you in the beginning the building of the Kurdish Heritage Institute, even the neighbor of that institute didn't know what they have inside. Now, whole globe will be able to access through their webpage, go to their catalog, and see what they have. And now we are global. That's what makes such a big difference. Such a big difference. We get online, we digitize the material. Now they are globally available. In top of that, considering we live in a very volatile, war-torn place, there's very dangerous environment. By having this material digitized and saved in the cloud, we save the heritage and culture, in addition to expand and extend the services. And this is the happy family photo with U.S. Consul General, Mr. Rob Waller, February 2nd, 2021, and some consulate staff and founding director of Kurdish Heritage Institute and the staff there. Of course, I am there with them. This last day, we are happy together. And that is Council of the Library and Research in Washington, D.C., and Kurdish Heritage Institute and State Department symbols are there. This is all three partners that we work together. However, I happily presented all of this success to you. Wonderful, good work, which I'm very proud. But none of this will have happened without all of these great people's their participation, support in different level. So for me personally, most of all, I have to say thanks to my immediate supervisor, His Excellency Sirwan Barzani, because he gave me permission and all the support I could get to do my best for digitization of Kurdish Heritage Institute. I'm very grateful for that. And Dr. Charles Henry, President of Council of Libraries Research in Washington, D.C., he's my supervisor in the project for the particular project, and co-director Peter Henrik, New York, Amy Lack from the CLEAR in Washington office, and KHI founding director Mr. Mazar Khalik, Narmin Hussein, deputy director, project supervisor Farhat Talib, staff member Kamo, Hawnaz, Awad, and other staff, U.S. Embassy and staff in Baghdad, U.S. Consul General Stephen Feig, and Rob Waller, and staff in Erbil, U.S. Consular staff in Erbil, and my former colleague and friend, Leslie Gash. Thanks to everybody. So it takes a lot of people and great team to have a successful project. Thank you very much.